When Eleanor's grandmother passed away, she left behind a house filled with memories and secrets. Among her possessions was a peculiar dollhouse that caught Eleanor's eye. Eleanor, to herself, this must have been Grandma's favorite. Eleanor places the dollhouse on a table. She admires its craftsmanship, noticing the tiny, meticulously crafted furniture and dolls inside. Eleanor, this will look perfect in the study. Eleanor, smiling, how quaint. Eleanor is working late, surrounded by books and papers. She glances at the dollhouse and notices something strange. The dolls inside are positioned as if they are reading books, just like she is. Eleanor, that's odd, I don't remember setting them up like that. Eleanor makes breakfast, setting the table for herself. She glances at the dollhouse on her way to the kitchen and stops in her tracks. The dolls are now positioned around a tiny table arranged for breakfast. Eleanor, uneasy. This is getting creepy, Eleanor, whispering. No way, Eleanor, this can't be happening. Act 3. The prediction. Inti, study, night. Eleanor can't sleep. She sits in her study staring at the dollhouse. The dolls are now arranged in a way that mimics her exact position. One doll seated, leaning forward with a troubled expression. Eleanor, what are you trying to tell me? She moves a doll to the miniature front door, and moments later the doorbell rings in real life. Startled, she answers it to find a package on the doorstep, with no sender information. Eleanor. This is impossible. She opens the package to find a photo of her grandmother with a note. They know your fate. Ein study midnight. Unable to shake her unease, Eleanor moves the dolls to her bedroom in the dollhouse. She then heads to her own bedroom. She lies in bed staring at the ceiling when she hears faint noises. Eleanor, to herself. Just my imagination. She drifts into an uneasy sleep. The camera shifts to the dollhouse, where the dolls are now positioned around a miniature version of Eleanor's bed, with one doll holding a knife. In real life, Eleanor shifts uncomfortably in her sleep. Eleanor wakes up with a start, her heart pounding. She rushes to the study and finds the dolls arranged exactly as they were in her nightmare. Eleanor, panicked, exclaims, "This has to stop!" Deciding to destroy the dollhouse, she grabs it and heads for the garage. As she opens the door, she trips over a loose floorboard and falls, hitting her head hard. The last thing she sees before losing consciousness is the dollhouse, perfectly intact on the floor beside her. Eleanor wakes up in a hospital bed, bandaged and bruised. A nurse enters, checking her vitals. "Nurse, you're lucky to be alive. You took quite a fall." Eleanor, weakly, "The dollhouse. Is it?" "Nurse, your neighbors found you and called for help. They didn't mention a dollhouse." Eleanor looks out the window, the sunlight casting eerie shadows in the room. "Eleanor, I need to go home." Eleanor returns home, determined to end the nightmare. She finds the dollhouse back in her study, seemingly untouched. The dolls are now positioned in a way that depicts her lying in a coffin. Eleanor, frantic. "No, this isn't real." She grabs a hammer and starts smashing the dollhouse. The camera cuts between the dollhouse breaking and flashes of eerie visions. Her grandmother, the dolls moving on their own, and her own face twisted in fear. Eleanor screaming, "Leave me alone!" As the dollhouse crumbles, a dark mist emanates from it, engulfing the room. Eleanor collapses to the floor unconscious. Eleanor wakes up in her study, the remnants of the dollhouse scattered around her. The mist is gone. She stands up, shaky but determined. Eleanor, it's over. It has to be over. She cleans up the debris, throwing it into a trash bag. As she heads to the garbage bin outside, she catches a glimpse of a tiny figure in the corner of her eye. She turns, but it's gone. Eleanor, just my imagination. She tosses the bag and returns inside, closing the door firmly behind her. The camera lingers on the trash bin as a small, doll-like hand pushes through the garbage, pulling itself free. Some inheritances are more than they seem, and some nightmares never truly end. The camera fades to black, leaving the audience with a lingering sense of dread.